Why you should be lifting weights, and in fact, why everyone should be lifting weights. I'm Max with Max Performance, and in this video, I'm going to talk about just that, why I think everyone should be lifting weights, and I have some pretty good anecdotal evidence to support this. I mean, there's obviously like scientific literature out there that would also support my statements, but I'm just going to talk about it anecdotally because that's my, experience is the best teacher. So first off, you have the physical, side effects or physical benefits, I guess you would say, to lifting weights. You get more muscular, you physically get stronger, your bones become stronger, um, and like I talk about, it's like a stronger muscle is generally a bigger muscle, and vice versa. A bigger muscle is generally a stronger muscle. So you get those added benefits, and like practically, it's like people will say like bench pressing isn't practical strength or something like that, or it's not even sport specific, which all big barbell movements can have some translation to athletics. But that's not even what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you're 60 years old, 70 years old, and you're having muscular atrophy, and your bones are getting more brittle. Being stronger and lifting weights is going to make your like basically stave off muscular atrophy and bone deterioration. Those are real things when you get old. I mean, you can see it in old people. They get so old and frail, and they break bones constantly. Like doing some goblet squats 2 to 3 times a week is going to really help with that. So, like, not only am I talking to the young fellas out there, the young ones that want to lift weights so they look good and they're strong and they're cool. I don't know. I don't know why I used to lift weights, but this is for everyone. Like this is for anyone and everyone, because everyone should be doing some form of weightlifting, even if it's like a goblet squat with 10 pounds in your hand for higher repetitions. Like everyone should be doing some kind of weightlifting, some kind of lifting of weights. I'm not saying you have to conventional deadlift 500 pounds. I'm just saying you should be doing something. And like some good examples of like people that are not inclined to lifting weights, that don't really want to lift weights, like you're going to have a very different program than someone like me who loves lifting weights and I want to get as strong as I possibly can. Like someone that doesn't even really care to lift weights, maybe you're doing 2 to 3 days a week of 30 to 45 minutes of like goblet squats, and maybe you're just doing a circuit with really light weight for moderate repetitions. You're doing goblet squats, maybe some overhead presses, and of course this is all going to be kind of dictated by how your body moves and if you have injuries and this and that, and also maybe what you're interested in getting good at movement wise or what you're interested in strengthening anatomically. But it's like everyone could stand to do some kind of squat movement, some kind of hinge movement, and some kind of press movement, and of course all sorts of back and rear delt movements to strengthen the back and the upper part of your posterior chain. So geez, this camera angle, is this messed up or what? Bottom line, it's like everyone from physically could benefit from lifting weights, both in terms of increased strength and increased musculature. And every person's going to be different in their needs for those two different things, for strength and musculature. But yeah, bottom line, everyone could stand to benefit from it. It's not like it's exclusive to younger people that just want to get good at lifting weights for sport. It's like, no, it's good for everyone. Like every person could stand to implement some kind of weightlifting regimen, even if it's, like I said, an hour and a half to 2 hours a week of it. It's going to make you better than if you weren't doing it at all, right? Like, of course it is. So this darn camera, good enough. So, anyways, that physically, that's kind of the benefits I see. Like I said, stronger muscles, stronger bones, and then let's go to like the mental part, because it is pretty mental. No, not really, but mentally, lifting weights gives you a huge sense of accomplishment, which, especially if you're younger, and even if you're older, again, this really applies to everyone, but having that sense of accomplishment helps to make you want more accomplishments in other parts of your life. Like, it's what I would call, lifting weights for me at least, it's what I would call a keystone habit, where if I take away that block, if you ever seen like a keystone arch, and you take away that keystone, that block, the entire arch collapses, right? Stick with me on this one. So I would call it a keystone habit because it supports the entire rest of your livelihood. Like it supports my work. It supports my family life. Like some people might say that doesn't make any sense, but once you get into it, you would understand because it puts your mind in a good place. It gives you a sense of confidence, a sense of accomplishment. It and also like another thing that people need to understand is lifting weights is a huge challenge. Like let's say you line out a program to do, and it's Monday, and you're supposed to go to the gym and complete your program, and you don't go. Well, you just missed out on a ton of little challenges. All those reps were little challenges to do, and you missed out on a big sense of accomplishment. But if you go and you do that, and you challenge yourself, because it's going to be challenging, it should be a little bit challenging, even if you're doing this for just general well-being, it should be challenging. You go and you challenge yourself, and you complete those challenges, and you feel accomplished. You're much better and stronger when it comes to every single other challenge that's going to come up in life. Whether that's going and getting a job or going and doing a job that you're not totally comfortable with. For me, it's like, okay, I put 400 pounds on my back and I squatted down and I squatted back up however many times. Well, if I could do that, and I was scared to do that, I'm not going to lie. Like, you start putting heavier weights on your back, you start doing things in the gym that push your limits a little bit in your comfort zone, and you're really challenging yourself and growing, then challenging yourself in other parts of your life is not going to be nearly as daunting, and it's not going to be nearly as stressful and scary. It's still going to be scary, but you're going to tell yourself, well, I can do this in the gym. Why can't I do this other thing, not related to the gym, but this other thing that's stressful and scary? Of course I can do it. So it's a huge confidence builder. And I mean, again, that's important in everyone. I think it's especially important in young people where maybe you don't have a huge sense of accomplishment and confidence yet because you haven't done anything. Let's face it, when you're younger, for the vast majority of people, you haven't done anything. You have, oh geez, who's calling? I'll call this guy back. You have no reason to have a sense of accomplishment, to be honest, because your parents have taken care of you your whole life. But once you start lifting weights, that's something that you can challenge yourself with, and that's something you can really improve on. So, yeah, that's another huge part. It's a confidence builder. You're challenging yourself. You're accomplishing things. Another mental benefit is it just makes me feel good. Lifting weights, I don't know like the actual real science behind this. It releases endorphins supposedly. Just busting your ass in the gym. This is just me. I mean, you just feel good. I mean, it makes you feel good. You feel strong. You get a good pump going. You get really good blood flow. I've talked about the Valsalva maneuver in other videos. So you're like, if you're doing some heavy reps, like you're holding your breath, and that makes you feel really good too. You're focused on your breathing during the movements, like all of these things. Like it's like all the culmination of just training hard and going in the gym and challenging yourself. It gives you a good physical stimulus, which gives you a good mental stimulus. Like after the gym, after I've beaten myself up a little bit and I'm a bit exhausted, I just feel good. I feel loose. I feel relaxed. I don't feel much a sense of anxiety. So again, that's another huge benefit is just mental well-being after the gym and just in general. I just feel like it gives you a greater sense of mental well-being, for me, especially after the gym and even during the gym. I mean, not everyone's going to love lifting weights. For some people, it's going to be a bit of a chore, which that's fine. You got to find the way to make it as enjoyable as possible for yourself. But for those that do love it, like lifting weights is fun. It's a good time. It might be the thing you enjoy doing most in life, which it can be, get a bit addictive and obsessive at times, especially depending what stage of your life you're in. But I mean, there's definitely those mental benefits. I would say it has cognitive benefits, that sort of thing. Like in general, again, that's a bit anecdotal. And then when you're lifting weights, I think it has like a very almost like meditative feel to it. It's like meditation. If you're doing it right, you should be really focusing. Bodybuilders talk about like really focusing on squeezing their muscles. If you're power lifter is someone that, I mean, even bodybuilders, strength athletes, whatever, you should be paying attention to the way you're doing movements. So you're doing them as perfectly as possible. And it's no different, and you should be focusing on your breathing and all of that. So it's no different than some kind of like dynamic meditation, you could say, which I would totally call it that, like a dynamic meditation. And again, a lot of these things are things that take time to develop. Like, I didn't feel this way 10 years ago, at least as much as I do now. You have to work on it. You got to grow it. Like, you got to consistently work on it. And if you love it, that's not very hard. That's easy. And if you don't love it, that's why I'm like, just do a little bit every week. It doesn't have to be a ton, just enough to get some benefits, and just stick with it. Like, you just got to stick with it. Whatever's going to get you exercising. I've always found that going to a physical gym location, it's so much easier for me to get in there and bust my ass than if I'm like working out in my garage or something. I like having other people around. It's very motivating. Like, I like kind of that like passive sense of competition in the gym. You know, like, I'm not actually like, hey, dude, I'm going to do more reps than you on this. But maybe someone else is doing an exercise and I can tell they're busting their ass, and I'm like, well, shit, I want to bust my ass too. Like, I want to outwork this guy. Even though we're doing maybe totally different things, like, there's always that passive sense of competition, which I love. And, you know, I love that part of the gym. It's the sport part of the gym. But, yeah, I think going to a gym is a great way for you to, getting to the gym can be hard sometimes, but once you're there, you're in the zone. It's like going to the office versus working from home. It's like, once you're in the office, usually you're pretty laser focused. There's other people there that are working. So naturally you want to be working as well. You know, it's very similar kind of analogy right there. So I think one good way to get in and actually get the work done is go to the gym. Sign up for a gym. Don't feel self-conscious if you're weak or if you don't know what you're doing. Believe me, most people don't care about people there that don't know what they're doing. They're much more concerned with the people that do know what they're doing, because that's hard to explain, but the ones that know what they're doing are going to get a hell of a lot more attention than the ones that don't know what they're doing. That's at least for me, from like a male perspective. Like, no one pays attention to the guy that doesn't know what he's doing and that is pretty weak. No offense. Everyone's eyes and like all the passive aggressiveness is going to the person that is squatting more than everyone else. So anyways, and then another thing that might help you get in the gym is, and again, I'm not a doctor, so take this with a grain of salt. This really isn't advice. I'm just talking from anecdotal experience. But like a pre-workout supplement, people can say what they want about pre-workout supplements. They're not healthy, this and that. But what's worse, taking a little bit of a pre-workout supplement and getting in the gym and getting your work done and going and doing that consistently for years, or not taking anything and never going to the gym ever? It's like, sometimes you got to have a little bit of the fun stuff to get in the gym and get the work done, which is, hey, by all means, I think you're better off taking a little bit of a pre-workout, if that's what's going to get you in the gym to get some work done, than not doing anything at all. Like, that's life. Are you better off going to a social function and drinking a couple beers and having a good time? Or are you better off just not going at all? Me personally, I'd rather go and have a couple drinks and do what I have to do. And maybe over time you work on cutting that out and still going and getting the work done. But let's face it, that's idealistic, and that's not always reality. So this video went a bit long, but who should be lifting weights? Everyone in some capacity. People that love it are going to do it a lot more than others that don't like it so much. But everyone should be doing a little bit, because it has physical benefits, it has mental benefits, and you're just going to be a overall better person if you lift weights. I promise you. You know, this is coming from someone who has been an avid gym goer for, I don't know, 10 plus years, 11 plus years, something like that. You know, who's like, I have a ton of experience in gyms. I love lifting weights, and, you know, I don't love running, or let's say walking. I don't love walking, but I do it because I know it has some health benefits, just like you should be lifting weights because it can help you out. I'm Max with Max Performance. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. Please like, comment, subscribe. Should probably start saying that earlier in the video for people that dropped off. That is what it is. And thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you in the next one. Later.